Greetings everyone, my name is Greg. In this video I am going to be talking about the minimum wage and those that want to get the minimum wage to be raised. Some may be wondering what my position on this is. Personally, I have a solution for it that I know will never happen, but it would actually help things and it wouldn't mean raising the minimum wage at all. My solution? Lower gas prices. This could start off with states dropping the taxes that they have on gasoline per gallon. And there will be a link in the description bar below to a website called gaspricewatch.com, where it shows a breakdown of what the gas prices taxes are per state. Now this was as of April 2012, so this is 2 years old. But some of these can be, for those of you that would be in Indiana, 61 cents a gallon on gasoline and 76 cents a gallon on diesel. That is absolutely outrageous, tax-wise, because the states flat out per gallon. They don't need that much, because think about how many people are in the state of Indiana getting gasoline by the gallons of gasoline every day. This is nuts. And to act like they need that money for roads and so forth, bullshit. It's not, you don't need billions for roads. Not to mention, the roads that are the toll roads, the money that would be coming in to repair them and so forth would be the tolls that you're getting for people that are driving on those roads. So it's the roads that are in, because it's like I'm in Pennsylvania, and to give the prices on that gasoline, 50 cents a gallon, 50.7, and diesel, 63.6. This is nuts. You don't need to have that much going in per state. But there's also federal taxes that are on gasoline per gallon. Just lowering the gasoline price per gallon. Now, I'm not saying that gasoline prices should drop like $2 a gallon overnight. No, I would actually oppose that. The reason being, people would lose their fucking mind. People lose their fucking mind when news of a storm comes on TV. Or they lose their fucking mind if they see gasoline for a quarter difference. They go fucking Looney Tunes. I understand people want to save money, but the thing is, this is why the gas price would have to drop gradually. So these people that are apt to lose their fucking mind won't necessarily be losing their fucking mind. The thing is, what this would do is, as the gas prices would drop gradually, so people don't lose their fucking mind, the cost to stores would drop, because the truck drivers that are bringing the freight wouldn't be having to spend as much on fuel, so it wouldn't be costing the companies as much to have the products taken from their warehouse to the stores, which would in turn mean the prices on products, both food and other things, could drop. And as those prices go down, it would be as if the minimum wage was going up, because people would be able to afford to buy more, because the prices of things would not be as high as it is now. It would be a real solution. You will not see it. What you will see is the minimum wage will be raised. I can guarantee that. I can guarantee that. The thing is, it will be raised little bit by little bit, and the prices on things will jump exponentially even more. And one of the things they may use as an excuse for it is, well, the value of the dollar is so low, the prices of things have to go up. It's not going up incrementally even equal to the raise of the minimum wage. What this is doing will actually be gouging more of the poor and middle class so that they can afford to do less, even though their hourly rate is higher. Not to mention, as your hourly rate goes up, if it would reach the 15 an hour that people are talking about, or even 11 an hour, what you would be paying in taxes, you could be easily bumped up into a higher tax bracket, which would mean the government would take more every week or every 2 weeks from your paycheck. So you're not doing any better. In fact, you're doing worse. What I am in favor of would be an actual solution, not a Band-Aid that will ultimately result in things being worse, because there are other things that could be looked at to supplement that states could do, that they could completely drop the taxes on gas, both on the state level and the federal level, completely get rid of it. And that would be not even legalizing marijuana, but bringing in industrial hemp. Now, let's be clear on something. The part of the marijuana plant that a person can get high on is, I think it's the female plant. I'm not a pothead. I'm not big on marijuana. I haven't really done a whole lot of research on it, but I know there's a male and a female pot plant. The one with the buds is the one that people can get high on, whereas the other is industrial hemp. You can't get high on it. And even the getting high, you can't overdose on marijuana. It's not, you don't have someone because of marijuana getting cancer, things of that nature. There's a medical aspect for marijuana. I am in favor of marijuana being legalized across the board, but also I would say legalize all the drugs. Fuck it. Because as far as I am concerned, alcohol is legal. And it does as much, in a sense, damage, people using that and driving, as pretty much other drugs. It would be, in effect, the same thing for those that would be, what about people that would be high or whatnot and be driving? We still have DUI. Driving under the influence doesn't have to just mean alcohol. Driving under the influence can be the influence of anything. And the taxes that could come in from the sale of drugs, and I would say sell them at pharmacies, just like people can get legal drugs, even have it as, okay, fine, they need to, in a sense, go to the pharmacy and say, I want X amount of whatnot. Okay, fine. In a sense, then we could know who's using what, and be, as long as they're using it at home and doing it on in their own and not going out and harming anyone else, who gives a fuck? It makes no sense to me of why we would spend billions upon billions a year in a war on drugs when we could be putting that money to better use elsewhere. Instead of trying to incarcerate people for drugs, let's actually try to fix the economy. Let's try to pay off the national debt. Let's try to actually fix the problem. instead of trying to just have more and more people in prison and having, because by putting people in prison and by having this people arrested for drugs, what is actually being done is there are fines that people get that go to the state and also to the government, the aspect of people having to pay fines for this bullshit. The thing is, this is a way to try and gouge people even more for something that, fuck it, make it legal. You'll get the same amount, if not more, in taxes on the drugs. And as far as the idea of people using cocaine or whatnot, I won't. I can guarantee you, I wouldn't touch it. I have no interest in it. It wouldn't matter to me. You could have me in a room full of cocaine, full of heroin, full of pot. I wouldn't touch any of it. In a sense, I have, to use the term, my drug of choice, cigarettes. And yeah, I roll my own. Because frankly, it's a hell of a lot cheaper. The thing is, and since I have my drug of choice, or my drugs of choice, nicotine and caffeine. Other than that, I'm not interested. I very seldom drink. I do occasionally, but not to get drunk. I mean, I don't even think I get drunk once a year. It's just not what I'm into. The thing is, for those that are, more power to them. Have fun. Just don't hurt anyone else. The problem with our society is you have people, not just the religious either, it's different people in general. They want to have their nose in someone else's life and try to dictate the choices that others can make. This is nuts. It's one, live your own life, do your own thing, don't hurt anyone else. Who gives a fuck what someone else is doing? It really makes no sense to me. But the aspect, and I want to address this just briefly, the aspect of industrial hemp. There are so many uses that industrial hemp could be used for. The aspect of it could be a fuel. We could get completely off of oil. Completely. Going to industrial hemp. You could have clothing made out of it. You could have rope. There are so many uses for industrial hemp. There is no reason, logically, that hemp should be illegal. Because the idea of people getting high, not on the industrial. What is used for clothing, rope, fuel, you can't get high on it. The only reason that that would be illegal is oil. I am no fan of Big Brother. And I am one that would advocate for smaller government, not bigger. I don't agree with the welfare system and that type of shit. What I don't have a problem with, and not near as much, is the aspect of disability. Now, I think those that try to get disability and they really aren't disabled, that they should be prosecuted severely. Because those that actually do need disability, because of a real disability, that they can't work and they have a real medical condition, that is different than those that want to be a lazy ass and say, I can't work because I don't like going out. So the fuck what? Get off your dead ass and get a fucking job. It doesn't matter. I mean, if I could have, in a sense, my way, I would be, in a sense, a type of hermit. Because I don't like dealing with stupid people, but I have to do it on a daily basis. So it's one more and more, I've learned to, at times, curtail what I say. Now, that being said, there was one point at my job tonight when I was on break. I was out smoking, and I watched this guy in the parking lot begging every customer that came out of the store for money. Now, he was a black guy, but to me, skin color doesn't matter. It was what he was doing that was the issue. And I did notice he would try and approach white people differently than he would try and approach black people. The black people he would try and approach, he did so in an aspect almost one of as if he knew them, as if he was their friend. Just because your skin is the same color doesn't mean it shouldn't mean that you're buddy-buddy. This is obnoxious. But I watched this when I was on break, and after my break, I went in and I told management. I had a description of him that I gave management, and I told them what this person is doing. They went out and took care of it. The manager had said to me, if I have to, I'm calling the cops. He is going away. He's going to be leaving because I knew it would make customers uncomfortable. People wouldn't want to deal with that shit. So it's one, I understand things are tough, but you don't go up, especially in a public place, you don't beg. That is, things are tough in a sense for everybody. Everybody can have a fucking sob story. Everybody. To me, it's one, get off your dead ass and get a job. I have zero sympathy for those that want to try and beg because, honestly, and I had told the manager that I talked to, I don't know if he actually needs gas or if the small gasoline can he's carrying is his shtick. I don't know. Because to me, I wouldn't give someone like that money because how do I fucking know he's going to use it for gas? How do I fucking know he's not going to use it to try and get drugs? That he doesn't have a gas problem at all, he has a drug problem. And in that case, I'm not supporting your habit. I don't have people buying my smokes or buying my tobacco and cigarettes, nor do I have anybody buying my sodas. I take that, I get that for myself. I support my own habit. And that's the way I see it with things of that nature. That's where I also see it, like the legalization of drugs. Fine. Support your own habit. There are so many ways that the solutions for these issues are available. But the truth of the matter is, the logical solution won't be the one taken. What will be is almost like the most moronic. What will not ultimately work in the long run, but will only be a temporary fix. It's a crock. But I recognize that there are bigger issues, and some may have objections and so forth to drugs. It's a personal choice. If you don't want to use them, don't use them. And if somebody does, and they operate a vehicle, you still have DUI. You could put people, in a sense, in jail because they're actually doing something that is potentially harmful to others. Not just because, in a sense, they have drugs. So the fuck what? It wouldn't be a matter of, are you in possession of drugs? It would be a matter of, are you on them? Are you operating a vehicle on a substance? And if you are intoxicated, then that's DUI. That's a different issue. It doesn't have to be the aspect of possession and so forth and things of that nature, and this putting people in jail for stupid shit. The people that are in jail should be there because they can't function in society. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Later, people.